Hare Krishna devotees, welcome to our Karthik month special. So we're going to continue with our Hari Katha from Srimad Bhagavatam, canto number 10. So the naming ceremony is over. Gargamuni, who is the chief priest of the Yadu dynasty, has been sent by Nanda Maharaj, sent by Vasudev to give the names for the two children. And he names them as Balaram and Krishna. Of course, Krishna is the original name of the Lord, depicting his all attractiveness. So saying this, Gargamuni also informs Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda that these children are not ordinary children. And that Krishna is as good as Narayana. So saying this, Gargamuni leaves and Nanda Maharaj is feeling very elated and considering himself to be most fortunate that the Lord had appeared in his residence in Rajapura. But of course, soon thereafter, everybody forgets that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. So Gargamuni also instructs them to take care of the child very nicely, after having told them that this child is actually Narayana himself. So soon, baby Krishna and baby Balaram begin to crawl on the ground all over Vrajabhumi. They are crawling on their hands and feet, and all the gopis are enjoying their mischievous pastimes. So sometimes they would hold on to something and lift themselves up onto their feet. They would specifically hang out at the Goshala. What would they do there? They will crawl all over the floor of the Goshala. And pretty soon, their whole bodies were covered with cow dung and cow urine. And Shukadev Goswami says, when they were crawling around in the Goshala, they appeared like as if serpents were slithering around on the floor. And both the babies had ankle bells on their ankles. And like this, as they were crawling around the cows, they were bringing a great deal of pleasure to all the gopis. And if suddenly some strange gopis appear in front of them, they would immediately recognize, this is not my mom, and they would run away. They would quickly crawl away because they were afraid of strangers. So just like young babies, they are afraid of strangers, right? Even though they may have seen them, they are not very anxious to go into their arms. So similarly, Krishna would very quickly try to crawl away from anybody who tries to come close to him. And going back to his mother, Yashoda, and Balaram would go back to his mother, Rohini. So they were dressed in the mud of Rajabhumi with cow dung and cow urine. And Shukadev Goswami says how beautiful they looked. Covered with cow dung and cow urine. To their mothers, they looked absolutely beautiful. And so the mothers experienced great bliss and joy. They would embrace their little children, feed them their milk, and slowly they begin to see little teeth are coming in Krishna's mouth. And seeing the teeth, the mothers would be very, very happy. The children are growing up. So like this, so many different pastimes. Sometimes the two children would catch hold of the tails of the calves, and the calves would be suddenly frightened and would start running away, hopping away from them. And these two little boys wouldn't let go of the tails, so they were dragged all over the Rajabhumi as the calves were trying to free themselves from the Supreme Lord. So that when the ladies witnessed Krishna and Balaram being dragged all over on the floor, they would stop whatever they were doing and they would laugh and enjoy these pastimes. Yeah. So like there's so many different pastimes were going on in Rajabhumi. As the children were growing up, more and more mischievousness began. So soon, Shukadev Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj that their lordships begin to walk. So the crawling pastimes are over. They are now walking. And because they are walking, they now begin to play with the other children in Gokul. And as they are playing with the other children, it brings so much pleasure and bliss to the Vraja Gopis. And what the gopis observe is that Krishna is very, very restless as a child. The acharyas explain that the Lord's eyes are also restless. He's always looking to see who is chanting my holy names, who is doing some seva for me. So that the Lord's eyes never stay still. It's always restless, darting here, darting there. Similarly, his entire physical self was restless as a young baby. And because he was so restless, it obviously means he was very naughty. And therefore, one by one, the gopis would come to complain to Mother Yashoda how naughty Krishna was. So one gopi would say, you know, our Prabhu, the cowherd man, he has just finished milking the cows. And what does Krishna do? He releases the calves. Usually when you milk the cows, you separate the calves from the mother, right? So Krishna would come naughtily and then untie all the calves. So the calves would go running to the mothers, preventing the householder from milking the cow. So the head of the household would become very angry. And when the man becomes very, very angry with Krishna for releasing the calves, preventing him from milking the cow, all Krishna would do is smile. So if the cowherd man showed his anger, all Krishna would do is smile. So of course, if Krishna smiles, what are you going to do? You are just going to give up. You can't be too angry for too long. So sometimes the gopis would come and say, today Krishna came into our house. And he doesn't ask us any permission. He steals whatever he wants. Curds, butter, milk, no permission. He's like a thief. He just breaks and enters into my house, and then he's eaten everything and he's made a mess. He's drunk all the buttermilk. And one more gopi would say, that is not as bad as what he did in my house. In my house, he not only came and stole the butter, but as if to insult me, he would feed all of the monkeys this butter. And when the monkeys said they could not have any more, he would get angry and he would break the pots. So like this, the gopis were coming one by one to complain to Mother Yashoda. And Mother Yashoda would never accept that her son could be so naughty. And moreover, why would he go and steal butter and milk and yogurt? She has plenty supply of that in her house. After all, she and Nanda Maharaj are the chief, they are the king and queen. So she would never believe them. So once all the gopis decide, see, Mother Yashoda never believes us. Let's all go together. Let's form a committee. Because if we go in a group, then maybe she will start understanding that none of us is lying. We're not making these things up. So as a group, they came to complain to Mother Yashoda. So one gopi said, you know what? Whatever we do, Krishna somehow or the other manages to get to the butter. So Mother Yashoda would say, well, it is your fault. Why would you leave the butter on the floor where he can reach it? You know children are mischievous. So Mother Yashoda would say, just tie it up high. If you tie it up, he will not be able to reach it. And another gopi would say, we've tried that too. We've tied the butter and the buttermilk up high, but do you know what your Lala does? He comes with his fellow thieves. He makes a pyramid, he climbs on the top, he takes a stick, breaks open the pot, and has the butter and buttermilk and makes a mess of it. Then Mother Yashoda thought, okay, if my son is so naughty as you're saying, then why don't you keep the butter and yogurt and everything else in a very dark place where he'll not be able to locate it? So the other gopis said, hey, Mother Yashoda, you decorate your children with such beautiful jewelry, Krishna and Balaram. Even if we put it in the darkest of places, their jewelry is so bright, it brightens the room, they are able to see everything, and they are able to steal it. So Mother Yashoda said, okay, then from tomorrow I will make sure that both of them are not wearing their jewelry. And the gopis immediately rejected. They said, no, 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 how can you remove the jewelry from him? He looks so attractive with this jewelry. Was the jewelry looking more attractive because it was adorning the Lord, or was the Lord looking more attractive because the jewelry was adorning the Lord? So they said, no, please don't do that. He looks so beautiful with the jewelry. I mean, Krishna is not Krishna without all of that jewelry that you put around him. So Mother Yashoda said, okay, what else do you want me to do? Then another gopi complained, I made sure there were a lot of pots, but to trick him, I kept all the pots empty. Do you know what he did? He got so angry that he had come to steal and he could not find anything worthy to steal. He broke all the pots, and as if to extract revenge for us not giving anything to him when he came to steal, he would go and pinch the little baby laying in the cradle and make the baby cry. And the minute the baby cried, Krishna would run away from there, knowing he is going to get into trouble. Then another gopi said, that is not even as bad as what he's done in my house. Do you know what he did? He not only stole the butter, he not only made a mess, he not only pinched the baby, but as if to add insult to injury, he went in the puja room and urinated there. So like this, the gopis, one after the other, they had some complaint about Krishna, about his pastimes. So Mother Yashoda was thinking, what should I do? Meantime, Krishna is hiding behind Mother Yashoda and peeking out from behind her back as the gopis are complaining. His eyes were becoming bigger and bigger, thinking, what if Mother Yashoda believes everything that they have come and said? He's going to be punished. So one gopi would say, when we catch hold of Krishna as he's stealing, and we would tell him, oh, you are a thief who have come to our house. And Krishna would respond back saying, I'm not a thief, you are a thief. So like this, these very, very sweet pastimes were being narrated by the gopis to Mother Yashoda. So now what would happen is that actually the acharyas explain, when the gopis found out that Krishna started stealing butter from one particular gopi's house, they were jealous. They wanted Krishna to come and visit their house. So that day, whole day, they would be meditating as they are making the butter, preparing the yogurt, making the buttermilk, and praying to the Lord that may Krishna come and steal the butter from my house. And then after Krishna comes and steals butter from their house, they were narrating the pastime of the Lord. Even though they were in a mood of complaining to Mother Yashoda, they were experiencing transcendental bliss. So even though externally they are complaining about Krishna and his mischievousness, internally they were experiencing bliss when the Lord came to visit their house. Because that's what they wanted. They would keep thinking, will Krishna come to my house today? Will Krishna come to my house today? And every time they were thinking like that, Krishna had to say, okay, I suppose I have to come to your house and satisfy you and please you and give you the bliss and the benediction that you're seeking. So such kind of spiritual desires are very, very appropriate for devotees. Yeah. So when Krishna was accused of being a thief, and he immediately says, I'm not a thief, actually, you are the thief. How do we understand this? So Acharyas explain, when Krishna says, I am not the thief, he's actually speaking the truth. Because everything belongs to him, including all of the gopis and all of the Brajavasis. So he has come to steal the butter and the yogurt and the buttermilk, but he has actually stolen the hearts of the gopis and the gopas. So when he says he's not the thief, he's saying, I own everything, including you. How can I steal something that I own? Everything belongs to me. How can you accuse me of stealing? So through these pastimes, the Lord is demonstrating that if you're attracted to him, then ultimately Krishna will steal you back to the spiritual world. Krishna is waiting for that. Krishna is waiting for the day that you will love him so much that he will come and steal you and take you back to the spiritual world. Yeah. So these gopis were enjoying so much transcendental bliss as they were complaining to Mother Yashoda. Meantime, Krishna, his eyes are darting here and there. He's wondering what is going to happen to him. He looked very, very innocent. And Mother Yashoda was so embarrassed to hear so many complaints about her child. She just very smilingly smiled. And when she saw Krishna also smile very slowly, she forgot that she had to chastise him. So she completely forgot that she had to chastise him. So one day Krishna was playing with all of his Gopa friends, including Lord Balaram and many, many other friends. So the gopis had finished coming and complaining. Now the Gopa boys, the young boys, Krishna's friends, come to complain to Mother Yashoda. So this pastime happens when the Lord is around 2.5 years old. So all the friends come and lodge a complaint to Mother Yashoda. Hey, Mother Yashoda, do you know Krishna has eaten some earth? And the boys all nod their head. Yes, yes, we saw him. Every day he goes secretly. He thinks he's hiding from us, but we can clearly see that he's eating the mud. Mother Yashoda obviously gets very concerned. What would happen if he gets a stomach upset? And what kind of behavior is this for a young child to be eating mud? So she picks up Krishna with her hands and she thinks, I should chastise him. And so she becomes very angry. So sometimes you have to put on show anger with your children, you know. So this was a show anger from Mother Yashoda to let her son know that she's not very pleased with his activities. So she asks Krishna, hey Krishna, why are you so restless? Why are you eating the dirt? And that too, you're doing it very secretly. You've been spotted by all your friends and they have come and complained to me. All of them have come and complained to me and attested to the fact they have witnessed you doing this. How come you've done this? And Krishna says, no, me eating dirt? No, not possible. Then Mother Yashoda says, Dauji has said the same thing. Balaram has said the same thing. How is this? Now, of course, Krishna is stuck. If older brother has also ratted on him, what is he going to do? He can't say Balaram is lying. So Krishna tells, hey Maya, I have never eaten dirt in my life. All my friends who came and complained to you, they are all lying. If you don't believe me, you can check my mouth if you want. So he's challenging his mother. Usually children do that, no? If they are staunchly lying, they think they can play a game by saying, if you want, you can check. If you say, if you want, you can check, then maybe the mother thinks, oh, he really didn't do it. That is why he's offering it up so nicely. Maybe if you want, you can open my mouth and check it for yourself. I have never eaten dirt. So Mother Yashoda was not falling for Krishna's trick. She told Krishna, okay, if you're speaking the truth, open your mouth. So challenged by Mother Yashoda in this way, Krishna closes his eyes, wondering what is going to happen, because indeed he had mud in his mouth. So he opens his mouth. And Shukadev Goswami explains, although the Lord has all of these opulences, and although he did not want to disturb his mother's affection for him, somehow or the other, when he opened his mouth, the whole cosmos was within it. Even though he was trying to hide his opulence, so that the mother doesn't think the child is a supreme personality of Godhead, so that Krishna can enjoy his pastimes with his mother. Accidentally, his opulence was revealed when he opened his mouth. So, of course, Krishna never loses his opulence, Shukadev Goswami explains. He is always fully opulent, but that opulence is concealed by Yogamaya so that the Vrajavasis can enjoy their pastimes with Krishna, like as if he was another ordinary child. So when Krishna opens his mouth wide, by the order of Mother Yashoda, she sees within his mouth everything. The outer space, all the directions, mountains, rivers, islands, oceans, the surface of the earth, the moon, the sun, the stars. She sees all the planetary systems. She also saw herself within the mouth with Krishna inside the mouth. Essentially, she was witnessing this pastime also within the mouth of Krishna. She was thoroughly bewildered. And suddenly, she had a doubt. And she speaks to herself and she asks herself, am I dreaming or is this real? Is Maya Devi attacking me? Or is my child some powerful personality? And she thinks, my child is some powerful personality. And she begins to offer prayers to the Lord. She says, my dear Lord, let me surrender unto you. I offer my obeisances unto you. You are beyond the conception of everyone. You are maintaining the whole cosmos. What can I do? I can just offer obeisances to you. I cannot understand you. I don't know how to meditate. I am not a jnani. So I was wrongly thinking that Nanda Maharaj is my husband, that Krishna is my son, and that I am the queen of Nanda Maharaj, and all these cows and calves belong to me. They're all my wealth. And all these Vrajavasis, they are my subjects. I forgot that I'm eternally your servant. So Mother Yashoda, through the mercy of the Lord, was able to understand momentarily that this was the Supreme Master. So Krishna was becoming concerned. If Mother Yashoda's mood changes towards him, the pastimes will come to a stop. And therefore, Yogamaya immediately makes Mother Yashoda forget what she had seen in Krishna's mouth. Just in an instant, she sees this cosmos and she begins to pray. And in the next instance, she has forgotten what she has seen. Because the Lord was concerned. Yeah, she'll start worshipping me every day. What will I do? I can't have any fun. It's no fun to be worshipped. I just want to enjoy myself. I want to enjoy myself with my mother, with my father. I want to enjoy myself with my cowherd boys and all of the girls there in Rajabhumi. I just want to enjoy myself. So the pastimes have to continue, and therefore Yogamaya, understanding the Lord's desire, covers up what Mother Yashoda had seen. So immediately, Mother Yashoda forgets that she had seen the universal form of the Lord within his mouth. So she picks up her lala and she's feeling a great deal of affection for him. So Shukadev Goswami says, great jnanis study the Vedic scriptures just so that they can understand who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And here, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was acting like an ordinary child to the wonderful parents, Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj. So having heard this beautiful pastime, Parikshit Maharaj asks Shukadev Goswami a question. The Lord benedicted Mother Yashoda by feeding at her breast. Who else could have such a great fortune? So who are these two personalities, Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda? To have the Lord appear as their son, and not just appear as their son, but perform all these beautiful Balya Leela pastimes as he's there in Vrindavan. So in response to this particular question, the entire Damodar Leela is narrated by Shukadev Goswami. But to answer the question that Parikshit Maharaj has asked, Shukadev Goswami talks about who is Nanda Maharaj and who is Mother Yashoda. Shukadev Goswami says, the Lord descended as the son of Vasudev and Devaki. However, they were not fortunate to witness the Bala Leela pastimes of the Lord. That great fortune was bestowed on Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda. And who are these two personalities that have the Lord come as their young baby? So Shukadev Goswami talks about Drona, who is also known as Vasu, and his wife Dhara. So one day, Lord Brahma instructs this couple, Drona and Dhara. This is not the Drona of the Dronacharya. This is Drona, the chief of the Vasus. So he instructs Drona and Dhara. After Drona and Dhara have done some intense piety, Drona and Dhara come to Lord Brahma and ask for a benediction. The benediction they ask for is that we want to be born on the planet Earth so that after we appear, we want the Supreme Lord as our child, who will come to attract all the Jivatmas back home through his pastimes. And thus they will get delivered back to the spiritual world. So, in essence, what they asked Lord Brahma is that the Lord should appear in our residence and perform his sweet pastimes, that not only will we partake and witness of it, but all Jivatmas for all lifetimes to come can also witness and participate in these pastimes. And they will get attracted back to the Supreme Lord and make their way back to the spiritual world. So our acharyas explain that every time we hear about the pastimes of the Supreme Lord, we are actually witnessing it in our hearts, in our minds. Our intelligence is absorbed in the pastime. And therefore, we are also bearing witness to the same pastimes that the Lord performed in Vrajabhumi 5,000 years ago, but still today we are able to witness it through the words of Srimad Bhagavatam. So this is Drona and Dhara who had this benediction. Prabhupada, in his purport, explains that even though the Lord is stating in Shloka 4.6 that I am unborn, my transcendental body never deteriorates, and I appear millennium after millennium to attract the devotees. Prabhupada explains in the purport that Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda had a special position. They are always the parents of Krishna in the spiritual world. Therefore, anybody who through their sadhana achieves siddhi, they can never become the mother and father of Krishna. They can have vatsalya bhav towards Krishna, but they can never replace the position of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, because those positions of Krishna's parents are eternal in the spiritual world. However, by following in the footsteps of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, those of us who are attracted to Krishna as a young baby or a child, we can also experience that Vatsalya Rasa. So what is so unique about Lord Krishna's pastimes? The Acharyas explain that Krishna has 4 qualities that Lord Narayana or Lord Vishnu do not have. What are those 4 qualities? The 4 qualities are Rupam Madhuri. The Lord's form is most beautiful. You can see Radharaman here, how beautiful he is. It's worth giving up everything and going to Vrindavan and taking darshan of Shri Radharaman. So one unique quality, one of the 4 unique qualities of Krishna is that he is Rupam Madhuri. There is nobody as beautiful as Krishna. He is more beautiful and he is more sweet than all of the other personalities of Godhead. So therefore, his Rupam Madhuri attracts the consciousness of devotees towards him. The second quality of Krishna, he is Ven Madhuri. Unlike Lord Vishnu, Krishna has a flute. Every time he plays the flute, even a single note, it attracts the attention of the Jivatmas back to him. Whether it is the cows or the calves or the trees of Vrindavan, or the animals in Vrindavan, or the Gopas or the Gopis, Krishna had a particular note for each of them. And when he would play this note, it would immediately draw their attention to Krishna. So Krishna is Rupam Madhuri, he is Venum Madhuri. When he plays the flute, he agitates our consciousness to go back to him. So, Cupid generally brings 2 people together in the material world. in the form of lust. But the same Cupid is attracted to Krishna because Krishna is more beautiful than Cupid. So Rupam Madhuri, Venum Madhuri. The third quality of Krishna is that he is Leela Madhuri. Every pastime that he performs is filled with sweetness, especially his Bala Leela pastimes. So this Bala Leela pastimes attract us. They are so sweet. They give us transcendental bliss just hearing it. So since all of us are hearing these pastimes early in the morning, throughout the day, you will feel light, you will feel energetic, you will feel enlivened. This is the potency of hearing the pastimes of the Supreme Lord. And finally, the fourth quality that Krishna has that no other personality of Godhead has, which is Prema Madhuri. He is always surrounded by devotees. You will never find Krishna alone. He cannot escape his devotees even if he wants to. His devotees love him so much that they surround him. They don't care if he's God or not. They just care that they want to have an opportunity to serve him. So the four qualities of the Lord are Rupam Madhuri, very beautiful features. Venu Madhuri, a wonderful flute player. Leela Madhuri, he attracts our attention by performing all of these beautiful leelas. And Prema Madhuri, he is never alone. He's surrounded by his devotees. So devotees, I remember hearing one senior Vaishnava saying, like if on a circle you have 2 points, are the devotees chasing Krishna or is Krishna chasing the devotees? We don't know who started it and when it all started, but the devotees are always chasing Krishna. Yeah. But if you read some pastimes in the Bhagavatam, you will notice that the devotees are walking ahead of Krishna and he is behind, right? When he's herding the calves and he's herding the cows, he's behind them. So is he chasing them? Or are the Gopa boys who are walking behind him, chasing him? Yeah. So like this, Drona and Dhara had the good fortune of having the Lord not only appear in their household, but also perform these sweet pastimes that they could witness, which increased their parental affection towards him. Therefore, Drona comes as Nanda Maharaj and Dhara appears as Mother Yashoda. And they are always in this mood of parental affection for Krishna. And because they had such deep love for the Lord, through association with Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, all the other Vradavasis, the elderly Gopas and Gopis also developed that Vatsalya bhav towards Krishna. So again, what can we learn from this? If we take association of devotees, very soon we will also become Krishna conscious. So Shukadev Goswami tells Parikshit Maharaj, all the elderly Gopas and Gopis, the cowherd men and the cowherd women, all developed the culture of Krishna Bhakti. How did they do it? They witnessed and took association of Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda, seeing how they were always in love with Krishna, always serving Krishna. Of course, Krishna also tries to serve Nanda Maharaj. There is a very sweet picture I can recollect where Krishna is carrying the padukas of Nanda Maharaj. The padukas are much larger than his head, but still he also wants to do service to his father. So he's feeling very pleased. Yes, I'm carrying my father's padukas on top of my head. I'm also offering some seva. So like this, Krishna and Balaram, they wanted to make true the benediction given by Lord Brahma, that the child would come into, that the Lord will come into their life as a child and perform pastimes that they would personally witness. So this is how chapter 8 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10 concludes, that Drona and Dhara had their benediction fulfilled when they come as Nanda Maharaj and Mother Yashoda and have this beautiful child, Krishna. And of course, they also have Daoji, Balaram performing all of these pastimes in Vrindavan, bringing so much happiness, joy, bliss, transcendental bliss to the minds and hearts of all of the Vrajavasis. Shri Vrindavan Mathura Dham ki jai, Grantraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai.
Jai.